Assalamu alaikum. I'm sending you this video because you are someone that I've worked with or uh, spent some time with. And the work I've been doing over 50 years now means there are many, many people I have connected to. But I want to say this very particular thing to you. First of all, thank you for spending time with me, for connecting, listening to me, and me listening to you. And that connection has created something that's very hard to find in the modern times, which is a connection between us. I mean, things are not the same as they were in traditional villages and even cities where we connected more in communities and neighborhoods, families, and really with the lifestyle, we spent more time eating together, spending time, having coffee together, being together. But I want to thank you for all these years and your personal connections and the personal opening up that's happened from you to me. And I'm thankful for that because I've learned from that. My teacher in Pakistan years ago, before I started this work, he said, don't think that you're going to go out and save people. He said, you're the one that's going to need help. And everyone that spends time with you and is your so-called patient, people you work with, they will be your teachers by Allah. Because Allah is the one that teaches us by all things that happen. And every moment of the good, the easy, the difficult, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Every moment, Allah may or may not be trying us. He may be giving us pleasure and beauty and abundance. But in any case, if we're awake and our hearts are awake and our eyes and ears, and we're aware that He is the teacher, Allah, then He'll be teaching us, and even if it's something that we feel tested in. So I'm thanking you all for the many, many things that I've learned from you in these 50 plus years. I realized recently that I have 3 generations that I'm working with just the last couple of days: grandparents, parents, and grandchildren. And I realized what a gift that is in this day and age, and what a gift it is to have the sort of quality of that whole generational connection, and with them being with me in a very genuine way and connecting. And as some of you may know, when I speak about connection, I'm speaking about what happens not by the words and the language or the text of our connection and conversations, but by something that happens unconsciously. And that's baraka. And that's a place in which we learn from ourselves to the other, and from them and from themselves to me. And so we share these unconscious things that come up between us spontaneously. This kind of learning takes place even if we're just having a cup of coffee, and if we're enjoying and we're connected and we're there and present with you. The same thing I say over and over, or I've said before, is we learn about being human from other humans. And the wide range of them are a gift for us. And I want to say that this time that we're in right now, with the stresses that are out there, and I've seen some people with physical symptoms and emotional symptoms in the past year, from the things that are happening in the world. People that have had physical problems from October 8th of last year, or was it maybe the year before at this point in time? And the doctors can't find anything wrong, and everybody, the psychiatrists and the psychologists, their therapists, they're not finding anything. But as a homeopath, I mark these things. Well, this began at that time. So it gives us a clue that very often the stress that we're experiencing from the world, we've learned to shut it out or hold it inside and not really speak it and not even recognize it. The value of being with friends, brothers and sisters, and other people, the value is that we may get a reflection from them that can open in us some aspect of our self that has either been put aside or minimized or not given the due that it needs to understand how much it can affect us on all levels, mental, emotional, physical. And the stresses that we have in these days, it affects our physical well-being, our spiritual well-being, our relationships, how we function in the world or don't function. So what I'm saying here is understand this as a phenomena and support each other, and contact people that you've not been in contact with, but that you care about. You maybe not enough to see them on a regular basis or call them or contact, but look them up, and if they're people that you feel okay with and you feel you've had connection with, rekindle that, catch up, reconnect, and have dialogue of some sort, even if it's a cup of coffee. I've recently had a cup of coffee with a dear brother of mine who I always felt had lots of wisdom. And for both of us, I think there was an opening just by having that cup of coffee and the things that came up inside us, by which we were learning more about ourselves than if we would from, say, a didactic, advice or therapy or nasiha, counsel of some kind, without knowing it until we left each other, and we then began to process inside from that connection and the baraka of coming close to one another. From the baraka of coming close to one another, it elicited Allah's healing within us. So find those people that you may be disconnected from. Check your connections, your list of connections, and reach them and reach out to them. Or if you can, invite them to your house. But spend time with others, because that is one of the greatest medicines that's available to us by Allah's design. When we connect with each other, one and one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, and recognize and know that this is the way that we manage to sustain well-being and wholeness, and we continue to learn. We must be learning, we must be changing from the cradle to the grave, as the Prophet ﷺ said in the Hadith. And that wisdom that can come and that knowing that can come doesn't necessarily happen when we're alone, and a different kind of knowing and opening can happen when we're alone. But others, and even other animals, to be with animals of all kinds, because they are also our relatives. I also want to say that if any of you want to reconnect with me, because I've seen many of you for for all these 50 years, please do so. I'm still seeing clients, as they say. I like to refer to them as people that I work with, because it's a reciprocal thing for me. If you get something from me, that means I'm getting something from you. And believe me when I say honestly that I've learned so much of what through these years from all of you. And in respect to that, I am about to launch a course very soon, in the next couple of months, hopefully, in which I will have an organized sort of way of presenting in a course these many things that I've learned and want to share with you. Lots of things that came from you, in fact, in the first place. But to share those things in a very organized manner, inshallah. So please reach out to those people that you know of in your life. Give them a good word. Listen, be with them, and recognize the rahmah of Allah and the barakah that brings understanding, purification of ourselves, and all of these things to us. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.